Why on earth are Trump and Elon going after Republicans? The answer to that is actually rather simple. A new politics is emerging. A new politics is emerging. Trump and Elon and Vivek and RFK and Tulsi and JD, right? Everything you need to know are in those, how many names did I just give? Like 6 names. Trump, Elon, Vivek, RFK, Tulsi, JD. They all represent together a new politics. And this new politics calls out the old politics for what it has become. A uniparty politics. A politics of the establishment. That divide, that perennial problem of that discrepancy between the Republican voter and the Republican leadership points to a larger divide. And that larger divide transcends party. It's a divide between the people and the political class. Now, think about it. We talked about this the other day. The Republicans won on November 5th, thanks to you. The Republicans won the most decisive landslide win in a presidential contest in the last 2 generations. This was by far more significant than anything George Herbert Walker Bush ever pulled off. We've talked about that back in '88. This is much more significant than when he won 40 states, because he won it with a borrowed coalition. It wasn't his coalition, and he quickly unraveled it and destroyed it within 4 years. This was much bigger than Obama in 2008. Obama lost votes in 2012. Obama barely won re-election in 2012, where Trump has increased his margin in each subsequent election, in 3 elections, from 2016 to 2020, got 7 million more votes, and then from 2020 to 2024, got millions more than 2020. Trump won a historic landslide. We handed the Republicans the single biggest win in 2 generations. The Democrats are shell-shocked. They're leaderless. They're licking their wounds. They're more politically vulnerable than they've ever been. And what do Republicans do? How do they repay us? Senate Republicans, who are in the majority only because of Trump, are doing everything they can to thwart his cabinet picks. And congressional Republicans are doing everything they can to thwart DOGE and the massive cuts in spending and bureaucracy that are incoming. That is exactly how your Republicans are responding. And so the only remaining question is why? Why? Why, after receiving the most clear, decisive mandate from the American people, why are Republicans acting this way? Well, note what the question assumes.
Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power.
Well, Mr. President-elect and former President, thank you. Donald, congratulations. Thank you. And looking forward to having like we said, smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So good. Welcome back.
Gang, what you just saw there was both the president and the vice president eerily congratulating Trump and promising a peaceful transition of power. Well, that's something I'd like to believe, but it's hard to believe those words when they're coming from the mouths of pure serial liars. I mean, career liars. So what does that mean for the next few months? The opposite of what they're promising. So absolute chaos. Economically, culturally, politically. We might be in for war for all we know. So what should you do? You should at least own some gold. The markets might be up right now, but Who knows what's going to happen between now and January? You need to protect yourself against the last hurrah of the worst administration America has ever had. We know it's coming. I don't know what, but something is between now and January 20th. You might think they're just going to hand over a pristine, happy, functioning country to the man they tried to assassinate and put in jail, entirely ruin. No, something's coming, and you need to be financially prepared for it. You need to talk to Goldco and protect yourself against this last battle. Get some gold in your portfolio. In the coming months, you'll be glad that you did. Click the link in the description below or scan the QR code and just chat with them. You'll be glad that you did. The assumption is that we're actually dealing with two distinct parties. The question assumes that when Republicans win, the Democrats lose. That's the assumption. Now, of course, at one level, that's true. Republicans get to lead the committees. Republicans get to go to the White House. Yeah, sure, at that level, sure, it's true. But at a deeper level, what if we're just now fully appreciating the fact that the Democrats and Republicans are just two faces of a single political party, a uniparty, an establishment duopoly that exists solely for their own empowerment, their own enrichment, and are thus ultimately answerable only to their donors and lobbyists? Gang, I honestly don't know how many times I need to say this. This is the new politics. It's no longer Republican versus Democrat. It's the people versus the permanent political class. And hear me write this down, because I think this is absolutely key to everything that's happening right now in Washington, D.C. This new politics is just as prepared to gut the Republican Party every bit as much as it has already defeated the Democrats. I'll say that again. This new politics, the politics of the people versus the political class, this new politics is prepared to gut the Republican Party, literally primary every single gutless rhino. It's prepared to gut the Republican Party every bit as much as it is prepared to defeat the Democrats. Because they are one and the same. And the boldness, the sheer boldness of Trump and Musk and JD and Tulsi and RFK and Vivek is found in the fact that they now believe we have reached a critical mass of political power, financial power, and technological power that can actually get this done. We can actually do this. We can gut the Republicans as we defeat the Democrats. We are now in an unprecedented position politically with Trump's landslide, financially with the richest man on the planet, and technologically with the new online media, with the mass mobilization that we're able to galvanize through the internet, what's often referred to as techno-populism or cyber-civilizationalism, as we talk so often on this channel about. We are now in a position to both, that's the key, both gut the GOP, replace all the rhinos with MAGA faithful in the primaries, and defeat the Democrats. It's not just the latter. We can displace every single rhino and defeat the Democrats. Displace and defeat. That's the new politics. That's the new politics. The politics that emerged on November 5th. So what does that mean? What it means is you're no longer safe if you've got an R next to your name, Congressman. I'm sorry. We don't care. We don't care. Oh, I'm a principled conservative. Who gives a flip? Given the perennial problem inherent in the Republican Party. Who gives a flip? We don't care if you've got an R next to your name, since you sell us out every chance you get. Now, of course, if you follow the news, I don't know why you would, but if you follow the CNN, MSNBC, even Fox, they have yet to catch up to this new political paradigm shift. They're clueless. They have no idea. They still think Elon Musk is a fool. Jordan Peterson talks about that all the time. He's like, don't bet against Elon Musk. They think he's a fool, the smartest man on the planet. You think he's a fool? Yeah, they still think he's a fool. They think Trump is politically careless. They actually still believe that. They actually think it's foolhardy to target Republicans like Chip Roy or Nancy Mace or the other 38 that voted against the continuing resolution last night. They think this is a waste of political capital. They think it's utterly bizarre and frankly stupid for Elon and Trump to be taking on Republicans when they could be taking on Democrats. Make no mistake. Anyone who still thinks that way right now does not understand the historical moment we're in. This isn't 1991 anymore. This isn't 2008. This most certainly is not 2016. We are witnessing a new political era rising up. More broadly, a political, financial, and technological era that is redefining the political divide away from the traditional horizontal divide of left versus right and Democrat versus Republican and liberal versus conservative into a new era that redefines the divide vertically. The people versus the political class, the ruled versus the rulers, the ordinary citizen versus the oligarch. And what you've got to get is that in this new politics, this new vertical divide, Republicans and Democrats are now on the same side. You got to get that. This is the new politics. Republicans and Democrats are on the same side. Either you're on the side of the people, like Trump and Tulsi and JD and RFK and Vivek and Elon, or you're on the side of the corrupt, permanent establishment oligarchy political class, like McConnell and Schumer and Pence and Pelosi and Graham and Warren. I couldn't give two rips over whether you belong to some group called the Freedom Caucus. Yahoo! I couldn't give two shits over that. The path to hell is paved with Freedom Caucus members and so-called principled conservatives. What the hell good have you done in these last 20 years? Is the deficit smaller? Is the debt smaller? Is spending reduced? Has government been cut? Those days of being able to say, I'm a Freedom Caucus member, I'm a principled conservative, those days are over. You're clowns. You belong to an old politics where the vast majority of the country still had some semblance of confidence and trust in our public institutions. Those days are long gone. If you're a regular to this channel, you know we are experiencing a profound crisis of legitimacy. We talk about it all the time, delegitimization. And this crisis of legitimacy is happening with every single public institution. Gallup's polling has never had trust at a lower level than it is right now in the modern political era for literally every public institution. This isn't about Republicans versus Democrats anymore. They both suck. They both suck. Both parties have lost the confidence and trust of the American people. Gallup has consistently found that 6 out of 10 registered voters want to see a third party. 6 out of 10. The Republicans and the Democrats are currently both going the way of the Whigs. And if you think Elon is going scorched earth with the Republicans, gang, wait until you see what he's got planned for the Democrats and even some political parties in Europe.